I saw, first of all, good afternoon. I saw a good reaction from the team. Um, I felt that we brought the right spirit to the match, and there was a desire to wanted to win the game. So it was very positive from that standpoint. That doesn't mean that we can improve in some areas, but when the desire is there, now we can concentrate in tactics. And definitely, I think we were unfortunate not to be able to come out with something more that I thought we deserve, unfortunately, from the match. But it was, I think, beyond our hands to be able to get those points, because I think the guys put up the work, and maybe we're creating some things that should have gone our way in this match. But overall, great spirit, and we need to make sure that we carry on with this.
Is it all emotionally sort of draining when you have a match where you feel like you put in the effort and you still can't find a way to sort of get out of that losing streak?
Of course, this is not a good moment for us. With this, we want to change things. We want to make sure that we get some wins away from home. We knew it was going to be difficult playing so many matches away from home, but it's been tough not to be able to get more points in these last few games, in last games that we have played. Nevertheless, I saw a good spirit, and unfortunately, sometimes in these moments you have to also encounter situations like we encounter against Dallas, in which things that were very obvious to any person watching the match maybe were distortion for one of the people that were seeing different things than what everybody was saying. But that's part of the game. We have to learn that that's part of the game. And in these moments, it becomes more difficult because they have a heavier weight on situations like this. But hopefully in the future, we'll see that as just another story to tell, and that's it.
Looking forward to this game. Is there any extra emotion or any different emotion from you or the players, facing the former coach of this team?
No, not that I know of. I mean, there hasn't been anything regarding that. We're playing against a good team. We're playing against a tough team. We know that it's going to be another difficult game. For us, it's another match that we have to earn points and go there strong to try to play against a team that has good players, that has a good system. We've seen that system. We understand the way they play. It's very similar to the way they've been playing for the past few years. So we know what we're going to encounter, and we need to work hard. And it's going to be tough, and it's another match that we have to go there with the right mentality, trying to get points.
And there are some reports out there that you guys might be close to signing Brian Fernandez out of Liga MX. I was wondering if you could say anything about that.
At the moment, right now we are this is the roster that we have. This is the roster that we have to make sure that continues to improve. If there's any addition in the future, I think those additions will definitely be good for us to help us continue to grow. But at the moment, the reality is that we have a roster and players that we are making sure that they continue to develop and give us what we need.
Coach, every season tells its own story, but last year you guys started slowly and then were able to make the run that you did. Are there any lessons you can take from last year or belief that you think your team has, given that they were able to turn it around like they did last year?
Yes, there's definitely lessons that we can take from last year, but also there's different situations that we can learn from this year. And I think that's the important part. And I think looking at the past, not only at us, in MLS last year making the final, but also looking at other clubs that had the similar situation in opening their new stadium and having to play away from a lot of games. It's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing. The good thing is a lot of those teams ended up doing well, so hopefully there's the hope that we can do that as well. But those things are not going to come by themselves. We need to put the work. We need to make sure that we are better, that we are doing things much better on the field. And we need to continue to fight. The good thing is that the group is good. The group is still with a lot of desire to make sure that we turn things around. And looking at the last game and the spirit that we put in, hopefully we're going to do even better in this match and in the match that we're going to continue to have in the future.
And last year you had referenced the Red Bulls game early on as an example of a game that maybe your team didn't win, but you started to see something in your group that you were able to take forward. Have you seen anything like that in any recent weeks that you can build on even if you haven't gotten the results that you've wanted?
Yes, I seen different things to feel more positive. From last match. I think last year when we turned the point, we had a little bit more structure. I think right now we are still trying to implement the basis, and we have our principles, but we want to make sure that we're a little more solid. But you can build up everything upon spirit, mentality, desire, passion, pride. These are words that are not being taken in a low consideration. These are things that if you do them, then everything else can come in a second place, and now you can work in those things to make the team better. And I saw the team bring those things to last game, and I know for sure they're ready to be able to play this game against Columbus coming this weekend.
And then you guys have been struggling, and then you have another month or so until you get to finally come home. Is that challenging as a motivator, as a coach? Have you tried to sort of mix up messaging to make sure that you're keeping your guys up when you still have a little ways to go before you get to come back?
No, definitely. I mean, when you look at it and you see how things have gone, and and it's only half of the games that we have to play away. Now we're coming to the second part. It looks like home is still too far, but it's getting closer. It's getting closer, and we need to make points. We need to make points away. We're ready to keep on fighting. There's a lot of fans that still give us a lot of encouragement to make sure that that we keep on doing things better and better. They still believe in us, and I believe in the guys. There's last week, very good weeks of training, and I like what I see right now. So I feel very strong coming to this game against Columbus because I see the desire that they have in order to make sure that they perform this weekend.
Coach, in your first response to the first question, you mentioned that the desire that you are seeing will allow you to build on the tactics that you had in place. Can you describe how the performance that you saw in San Jose influenced your decision to go back to the 4-3-2 formation that we saw during the first, 50 minutes? I can't remember exactly how long you played it in Dallas, but how it impacted your decision to go back to the 4-3-2 that we saw against the Galaxy.
So we decided to be a little more compact. We decided to be better defensively in some areas. We wanted to protect players, that way they were not exposed, and build from there. So we felt that was the right decision to be able to go back to that. And I felt that there were some very good moments, defensively, offensively. Nevertheless, still we can be better. We can focus now in, the things that we could have done in some moments to prevent some situations, because Dallas in the first half, they created, 2 or 3 good chances. And then I felt that the second half, especially towards the last, I will say 30 minutes, then we dominated. I think we were very unlucky not to come out from Dallas with more. But that was the whole point of it, to make sure that we were a little more solid defensively and build up, from there going forward. And we saw that still with a system we were able to come to get in the box to find opportunities. I'm just happy with the guys in the sense of, they're very receptive. They're trying to adapt to everything that I tell them to do, and that's a very positive thing.
I want to talk about going forward in a minute, but you talked about the 2 or 3 chances in the first half. I'm thinking specifically of the one that Ferreira had just inside the box that he pushed wide left, and the one that Aranguiz had that he put over the bar. Do you think the failures in those moments were more down to the scheme or the individual execution of the players?
No, tactical as a group. Some things, of course, you can say one here, one there. But it's just tactical corrections that you have to make in some situations. That has to go with the principles that you implement in the team. So definitely that's a video that is going to be shown to the players in order to make sure that they continue to improve. But it's mostly details on the entire group, and there's never one reason that you can point one person specifically. Specifically, there's always 11 players. Maybe you can make a little mistake, but it's always that mistake is made after so many other players. participate in the play. So this is a unified group, and mistakes are made by all of us, and the rewards are, for all of us as well.
And Coach, I'm not going to be naive enough to ask you what formation you're going to play this weekend, but you did have a positive response in a second formation during the second half this weekend. As a coaching staff, when you're making decisions of how to move forward and what you can build on coming out of the last game, what is that decision-making process like when you saw the 5-3-2? It's the second time this year you had played that, but then you saw a new formation that you haven't played very much this year give you some decent results.
Mm-hmm. Yes. While we are trying to make sure that we find what is the way to go completely, which we have in our mind, but we have to make sure sometimes that you go a little bit outside your path in order to come back strong. Sometimes you have to put some tweaks in it and keeping the same principles. But at the same token, depending the opposition, depending the teams that you play against and their strength, also we have to adapt to make sure that we continue in that path that we're looking for. So both, the good thing is, again, what I said before, that the team is adaptable, that the team is able to know how to play, different systems, and the way we play at the end, it was very strong, very offensive-minded, and the guys did very well, and they handle, especially the 1v1 moments, extremely well, which is an important part of the game. If you're not able to be ready to do very good things on 1v1, then you have to make sure you don't expose yourself. So we'll see. I mean, we have our ideas clear. We're working on it, and we have a plan in place, and we're ready to execute.
Gio, what do you think that Caleb has done well with the crew this year to get them off to a pretty decent start? And what challenges is this team going to present for you guys specifically?
Yes, I usually don't like to talk about the coaches and what they do with their teams and all that. What I can say is that it's a good team. We know that they haven't changed much from players and system. They're very much a team that has preserved the same things that they have been doing for years. So we know what to expect. But credit to Columbus, to Caleb, because they're doing well. They found some good some good victories, and they are a tough team to play against. And so we know what we have in front of us, and that it's not going to be an easy game. And we prepare for the match, and the guys are ready to be able to perform, to try mostly to get points, which is the most important part of this game.
And then just really quickly for me, just injury-wise, how's Polo doing? And then is Valeri completely back to full health, or is he still dealing with any heel issues?
Yeah, so yesterday he didn't participate in the practice, Valeri. So today he practiced complete. He felt a lot better. So we'll see how he's going to continue to progress. Polo, same situation. So Polo is, feeling better and better. So we'll see also how he's going to continue to feel this week to see if he's going to be able to participate in the game in the 18. And the more players that we can have available, the better for us.